Every year, it happens the same way. The sun comes out, everyone else seems to light up, and one person quietly starts dreading the next 3 months. Not because of the heat, not really. Something about summer itself feels heavy to them, and they can't quite explain why. If that's you, you've probably heard the same response 100 times. How can you hate summer? It's the best time of year. But here's the thing. For many people, summer isn't relaxing. It's overstimulating. And that difference says more about the brain than the season. Think about it. Summer removes structure. No fixed routines, no clear schedule, constant social expectations. Everyone wants to hang out, go outside, be on. For people who feel safest with predictability, that sudden lack of structure doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like standing in a room with no walls. While everyone else is planning beach trips, someone else is secretly counting the days until life feels normal again. Psychologists have looked at this through the lens of what's called environmental load, how much sensory and social input a person is expected to process at once. Studies on sensory processing sensitivity estimate that roughly 20 to 30% of people naturally process environmental stimulation more deeply than others. For that portion of the population, longer daylight hours, more noise, more events, and greater pressure to be visibly happy aren't energizing, they're exhausting. But there's another layer. Summer comes loaded with a cultural script. You're supposed to be having the time of your life. Beaches, vacations, spontaneity, happiness on display. And if your body doesn't feel that automatic joy, a second emotion sneaks in behind the first one. Not just discomfort, but guilt. Guilt for not enjoying something you're supposed to enjoy. That's when disliking a season quietly turns into a feeling that something's wrong with you. And here's what's interesting. For some people, it's rarely the heat itself, it's the loss of control. Predictable routines reduce cognitive load. When those routines disappear, the brain has to make more decisions: what to do, where to go, whether to accept invitations, and how to spend each day. Over time, that constant decision-making becomes mentally exhausting. Now this matters because this pattern shows up far beyond the weather. People who dislike summer often show the same discomfort in loosely structured meetings, unplanned social events, or open-ended weekends. For some, the season isn't the real trigger. It's a magnified version of something they already navigate carefully all year: unpredictability. But that's only part of the story, because there's an identity layer underneath this too. In a culture that treats extroversion and constant socializing as the default setting for happiness, people who need quiet, routine, and lower stimulation can start to internalize their preference as a flaw. Not, "I process the world differently," but "something is wrong with me for not loving this." That's the quiet cost, not the season itself, but the self-judgment that gets attached to it. So if summer drains you instead of lifting you, it doesn't necessarily mean you're broken, antisocial, or ungrateful. For many people, it means their nervous system is wired to seek structure and predictability, and summer, by design, strips both away. That's not always a flaw. Often, it's information about how you function best. Understanding that difference changes something, because once you stop fighting your own wiring, you stop wasting energy feeling guilty for it. Sometimes the seasons we dislike aren't revealing what's wrong with us, they're revealing what our minds have needed all along. But here's a question worth sitting with. If certain seasons quietly reveal how your brain regulates itself, what does the way you handle sudden change in general say about you? We'll explore that in the next video.